Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you about a horror movie, and that movie is Hereditary. I hadn't seen one since A Quiet Place. I'm really looking forward to watching The Nun. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to see a horror movie that's awesome. You can see it on streaming right now or in digital or whatever. I was really excited to watch this movie because it has divided the opinions of everyone, of critics, of people that go to the movies and watch this movie. I have seen reviews saying it's the worst horror film ever, and others saying it's a masterpiece. So I had to watch it by myself to really appreciate what was going on with this movie. This movie is basically about a family that has the worst luck ever, and that's the only thing I can say without really ruining anything. It has a death of the mother of Toni Collette's character, a very conservative and really private person, and that's what starts the whole movie, and that's a really important part of the movie. Again, this movie stars Toni Collette, who is an Australian actress that you might know from The Sixth Sense or from United States of Tara. She's such an amazing actress. I love her completely. She's overdue for an Oscar. That's the truth. The other people in this cast are Alex Wolff, I think his name is, and Gabriel Byrne, and a kid whose name I don't know, which is the worst because she's like a very important character in the movie. But whatever, that doesn't matter because again, this movie has divided people a lot. Some people say the director of the movie, I'm going to put his name around here, is a master because he has done amazing things with the photography and how to tell a story and all of that. In my humble opinion, there's nothing really that impressive in this movie. There are things of the story that are very, very bold. There are things of the ambience of the movie that are really interesting, that you're like, oh, this is cool, like it promises something, and that's really interesting. However, there are other things in the movie that look like a short film done by students in a university, and that's and I'm not saying that to praise anyone, let's just say that it really looks cheap, it really looks dumb, it really looks simple, it really looks like those obsessions you have when you're young and you want to do a movie, and that's not really good for a big movie like this. I mean, it didn't really do that big at the box office, and it didn't cost a lot to do, to be honest. Still, it has a really big star at the center of it. It has a lot of following, you want it or not. So I would expect something more, a more complete screenplay. The screenplay, I think it's really, really weak. It really doesn't explain things that it should explain, and it explains other things that it shouldn't. I mean, there are exposition scenes in this movie that are really the ones that you should always avoid in movies, that they teach you to avoid when you're learning how to write a screenplay. However, he puts them there, and there are other things that you should be able to know that are just like 5 seconds or less, and if you understood, good, and if you didn't, well, bad for you. So I didn't understand that. I thought it was really weird. The other thing, and the biggest problem I have with this movie, to be honest, is that it feels very manipulative. It feels manipulative because it pretends to be something that is not, and it does things, and then it's like, oh no, but I'm an art piece. This movie pretends to be something it isn't a lot of times, like art house kind of cinematography, and you're like, oh my god, this is very European of you, that is very interesting. But then you realize that it has one of the most horrible scenes I have ever seen, and most cruel. And it isn't the fact that it's bloody or that it's violent. That I get from horror film, and none of horror films have done it. But it's cruel. It's almost like torture porn, and I didn't really like that. I didn't really like to feel like that during the movie. I thought it was very disrespectful at some point. I felt like I was being disrespected as an audience member. So I didn't really like that. And it's manipulative again because it makes everything seem like it really reunites at the end, and that everything makes sense. But when after you see the movie, you're like, wait a minute, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, there are things that are just too out there, and the links between some of the facts around the movie are super weak, are super weak. You should have more meatiness, more character development, more things to tie it all up, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. And some of the scenes seem too slapsticky and seem too silly, to be honest, or too torture porn, as I said, when they should be more about the characters and how they are built. I am surprised and amazed and thankful that Toni Collette especially did such a great job with such a weak screenplay and such a weak story, to be honest. The story is very interesting. There are many things that I think have a tremendous potential, and something that I have to say that this movie has is that it really gets into you, into your veins and your nerves and everything, because even after you see it, you keep remembering things about the movie, and it's really unsettling, and that's a great thing that a horror movie should have. So that's a good thing that this director did. But the other things that he did manipulate us into watching things that are horrible and disguising them as art house film. It has a thing that seems to be a ripoff from other movies that are really similar, that are from the same genre, especially Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist. So you cannot say, oh, this is the most original movie I have ever seen from the horror genre. Like, take it down a notch, because it isn't. It borrows a lot of things from a lot of different films, even recent films. And that's my opinion on Hereditary. Very divisive. I liked some of the things about it, but mostly I felt abused a little bit by this movie, to be honest. And I'm not planning to see it ever again in my life, because I think it's too much, to be honest. I think there is a moment when something is too much, and this movie is too much. And you know, that's my opinion. If you want to see it 400 times, that's up to you. So please like this video. If you liked what I said, please comment down below what you thought about the movie. Share this video all over your social media, and of course, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Goodbye.